My name is Champu. I am 72 years old, and I want to tell you something that took me half a lifetime to understand. The universe was never ignoring me. It was responding to me, just not to my words, to my energy. For years I believed that if I asked hard enough, prayed long enough, worked tirelessly enough, something outside of me would finally shift. I thought the key was effort, persistence, desire. I thought if I wanted something badly enough, the universe would eventually reward that wanting. But what I did not understand was this: the universe does not respond to your requests. It responds to your state, and my state was fear. Let me take you back to when I realized this. I was 55 years old. Financially, I was not in crisis, but I was not in peace either. Money came in, but it never stayed comfortably. Opportunities appeared, but they dissolved before settling. I felt as if I was standing outside a door that would not open, no matter how hard I knocked. I knocked with anxiety. I knocked with desperation. I knocked with urgency. And then one evening, something inside me broke. Not in collapse, in surrender. I was sitting alone at my kitchen table, bills neatly stacked, heart racing like it had done so many times before. And suddenly I felt tired of being afraid. Not tired of the circumstances, tired of the internal tension. And I asked myself something I had never asked before. What if it is not the situation that needs to change, but me? That question changed everything, because up until that moment, I had believed the universe needed to respond differently. I had never considered that it already was responding to my fear. When you operate from fear, your decisions tighten. Your conversations contract. Your posture becomes defensive. Your voice carries urgency. People feel that. Situations reflect that. And opportunities often retreat from that. I began observing my energy throughout the day. Not what I was doing, what I was feeling. When I checked my bank account, did my body tense? When I thought about the future, did my breath shorten? When someone else succeeded, did I feel threatened? The answer was yes, constantly. And I realized something uncomfortable. Even when things were stable, I was vibrating instability. Even when nothing was wrong, I was expecting something to go wrong. And expectation is powerful. Expectation trains perception. Perception guides action. Action shapes outcome. The universe was not withholding. It was mirroring. So I decided to experiment. Not with manifestation techniques, not with rituals, not with forcing positivity, with energy. I began changing my internal posture before I tried changing my circumstances. When I felt fear about money, I didn't suppress it. I softened it. I slowed my breathing. I relaxed my shoulders. I said quietly, I am safe right now. That phrase became my anchor. I am safe right now. Because most of my fear was about the future. And in the present moment, I was usually safe. As my nervous system began calming more consistently, something subtle shifted. I began speaking differently in meetings. I listened more instead of defending. I stopped over-explaining. I stopped over-promising. And something remarkable happened. Conversations felt easier. Negotiations felt balanced. People responded with more trust. Nothing dramatic, but steady. Then one day, a new opportunity appeared. Not because I chased it, not because I begged for it, but because I was in a different state when it arrived. I was not trying to grab it. I was evaluating it calmly. And for the first time in years, I felt something different. I felt equal to it. That is when I understood fully. The universe responds when your energy changes, not because it suddenly decides to bless you, but because you become aligned with what you are asking for. There is something important here. You cannot attract stability while vibrating panic. You cannot attract abundance while expecting loss. You cannot attract respect while doubting your worth. Energy must match the desire. This does not mean you fake positivity. It does not mean you pretend everything is perfect. It means you regulate yourself first. You stabilize your internal state. You become the version of yourself that can hold what you want. When I stopped obsessing over outcomes and started focusing on inner steadiness, my life began reorganizing itself. And here is the deeper truth. The universe is always responding. Always. If you feel stuck, it may not be resistance, it may be reflection. Reflection of doubt, reflection of fear, reflection of tension. And the moment your energy shifts, the reflection changes. You do not need to shout louder, you need to calm deeper. I am 72 years old. I have seen this pattern too many times to dismiss it. When I was anxious, life felt uncertain. When I became grounded, life felt cooperative. When I was desperate, opportunities felt scarce. When I was steady, opportunities appeared naturally. Not because the world changed overnight, because I did. I want you to try something simple. Tonight, before you sleep, sit quietly for 5 minutes. Place one hand on your chest. Breathe slowly. And ask yourself, what energy am I carrying into my future? If the answer is fear, don't judge it, just soften it. Say quietly, I choose stability, not as a demand, as a decision. And tomorrow, act from that stability, not from panic, not from urgency, from calm. Watch what shifts, small shifts at first, but consistent ones. And in the comments, if this message resonates right, my energy is shifting. Because the moment your energy finally changes, everything begins to respond differently. The universe is not late. It is waiting for alignment. And alignment begins inside you.